Dun, 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 dun. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum. What's up, party people in the house?
What up, though?
Welcome to Axies Live, one of the sexiest voices in the SFL,
Mr. Master.
Dave Axies. What is up, party people of the SFL? What's going on? What's going down? What is happening this Thursday night? I am excited. This is going to be a great show. This is going to be a really fun show. And, I mean, who doesn't like fun shows? Come on now. I want to let everybody know this is episode 98. So, welcome to episode 98 of Axies Live. I am your host, Dave Axies. Tonight, we've got the inaugural Axies Awards nominees. We've got our mystery panelist, number 14. We're going to discuss briefly the SFL rule changes and potentially the top 5 snubs article that came out today. Yep, Frank, can't be that fun if you're not here, bro. I believe I'm in agreement with that. We'll briefly touch those couple things on the during the show, and then we could talk about them more in After Dark if you guys want to. We'll brush up on SFL Minor League Week 8. We've got Gunny's Pearls of Wisdom, Access After Dark if you guys are down for that and want to have more things to talk about, we can do that as well. But in the meantime, let's do my favorite part of the show, everybody, and that is let's check out the what? The party people, yo, get funky. All right, let's see who the party people are here tonight. We got Bob Funk in the house. He's the first one in. Second one in is the lovely and amazing, perfect Pink Lisa. The Bullet. Happy birthday today, Bullet. Bullet, everybody is 3 days older than me. Just wanted to let everybody know that, Bullet. There's not a lot of people younger than me in this league, so when I find one, I need to make sure I let everyone know about it. Corey Mizzou's back with us. That's what she said is in the house. J-Rock Madison is here. Frank the Franchise Wade. Nate Hall. Charles from the Lone Star Glory is in the house. Mike All is with us as well. Oh, hey, Dave Axis is here. What do you know? Let's see. Who else is here? Will Todd's in the house. Swole is back. Swole, good to see you, buddy. Ron Cochran, the old vet, is here. Chad rolling in a little late, but barely making it. Who else we got? Benji Matson. Oh, my gosh, Benji. Glad to see you here, bro. Mel Davis is back. Mel, is that 2 shows in a row, bro? You trying to make this a habit? What's going on? Eddie Gage is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. What up, Doe? Good to see you, Eddie, as well. Who else is in here? O-Town EK is in the house. David Leathers, the man with the best first name in the SFL. David, where you been? I feel like I haven't said that in like a few shows. I feel like you haven't been here or something. I don't know what's going on. Gunny is here, of course. Freddie's here. Yogi's here. We got all the regulars in the house for episode 98 of Axies Live. We're going to meet the panel here in just a moment. I'm going to stall because somebody forgot or lost track of time and wasn't here on time for sound check. So I'm trying to load them up right now. And as you can see, the way that I am talking, very slow, dragging out my words, killing time, so I can get this person's camera going. And hopefully they're on. Because they're all censored now, I can't see. Unspoken 55 just showed up. Good to see you, bro. David Leather says, oh, yeah, I've been popping a little later, watching the replays. There you go. That's why they're always on Twitch for 14 days. And by the way, I don't really advertise this, but if anybody needs to see, wants to pull up an old episode, you can go to the Dave Axis YouTube page. All my episodes are stored on YouTube. I think only all of them except for maybe like 2. So Albert Begin showing up. Sorry you're late. That's all right. It seems to be the theme of the night. And Tony Roberto looks like he's squeezing in at the last second as well. All right, let's meet our panel for tonight. Our panel tonight. In the unscripted circle, hopefully. We'll find out in a moment. I don't even really know if he's in there or not because I wasn't able to test it. But everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. He's your general manager across the pond. He is Chad Rowland. And there it is. Hey, Chad. How you doing, buddy? Just like clockwork, baby.
Dude, this Indianapolis traffic sucks.
Yeah,
like
apparently.
horrible.
Apparently,
Yeah,
it sounds like it.
How's it going, Dave?
It's going well, bro. You take a deep breath, settling in. Lady, hey, you guys, the music was already playing when Chad is we're trying to get his camera up and everything. It was awesome.
Felt like Marco Andretti driving through Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think we have some pictures of you from some traffic cams. So, hey, at least you made it here. That's what's important. Welcome back to the show, bro.
Thank you.
Real quick, Leon Thunderman jumping in the house. Somebody said happy birthday. Is it Dynasty's birthday too? I did not know that. I better write that one down. Wow, it's more people's birthday than I knew. I made a little graphic for a few of them, but I didn't realize how many more there were. So if your name's not on the graphic I show later, my apologies. In the unfiltered circle, back with us. I think he's here. I feel like you haven't been here for a while, bro, but you probably have been. I just don't remember. But he is the vice president of everything that is the Fort Worth Toros. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ugly Shirt Robert Garrett Jr. is in the house.
Oh, hey, sorry, Dave. I didn't see you there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we catch you in the middle of changing it on camera? Sorry, my bad.
And just holding it up loud and proud.
Oh, Gunny got booted out. I see. All right, I'll get Gunny back in here. Anyway, Robert, how you doing tonight? Other than the ugly shirt, how you doing?
Doing pretty well, Dave. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing outstanding, and I'm really, really excited about tonight's show in these Axies Awards, the very first ones. And just so everybody knows, these are not your normal, average, everyday award show type of awards. These are all different. We have 10 categories, and you won't find any of them in the SFL. You won't find any of them on the Swamp Talk Awards. You won't find any of them anywhere. They are all Axies originals. Hi, do you like apples, Chad? Do you like apples? How about them apples? All right, here we go. In the unedited circle, this guy, I feel like he was just here last show. And he was here just last show. But he stepped up and said, you know what? I don't care if it's my birthday. I've got my priorities straight. And my priorities say that even on my birthday, I need to be a panelist on Axis Live. Everybody, welcome Nate Hall. Happy birthday, Nate. Look at that. You must have been to Knoxville, Tennessee recently. Look at that old smoky moonshine.
Hell yeah, I did a little bit of coffee-flavored moonshine before, or as the show's getting started here.
That's that's a good chug one right there. That's a easy.
Heck yeah.
That's a sneaky drink, though. Be careful. I mean, Chad knows all about the sneaky whiskeys. Oh, let me see who else in here. So far we've got Nate's birthday, Bullet's birthday, Dynasty's birthday. We know it's Cam's birthday. Wow. I always thought the birthday of our mystery panelists. So I'm about to introduce our mystery panelists, but as always, I will drop a few hints first. The first hint is the same first hint that you guys got last show. This person has never been on the show before. What is going on around here? We're getting all these peeps coming in that haven't been around. What's going on? Any guesses? This person has never been on Axis Live before as a panelist, a guest. I don't even think he's ever called in After Dark. Nothing. I'm pretty sure he hasn't won Diva of the Week, which I had forgotten about Harish. But no guesses. I know it's hard, right? It opens up to only like 6 million people. It could be. All right. Hint number 2. This might give it away for some of you. He's only the third person to do a certain thing in the SFL. He was the third person to do this specific thing. Look at everybody. I can see your brains turning inside your heads right now. Yeah, Bullet, you're welcome, buddy. Happy birthday, man. Mystery guest, Flat Cap Falk. Tyler, oh, that's maybe. Jeremy, oh, that's a good guess too. Although I have a feeling Jeremy called in once. I have a feeling. I don't remember. Correction, Falk's flat cap by itself. It's just a flat cap sitting there, Charles. Nothing else. All right, well, I'm going to see if I can have him say his famous saying, something that he's very famous for saying, and I might just ask him to say it right now. This is totally unscripted, as this show always is, because I didn't even talk to him about it or ask him ahead of time. So hopefully he's actually listening to me right now. So mystery panelists, is there any chance you could do your trademark word sound comment thing?
My best friend, Kate Stevens.
Hey, do we have any guesses now? If you don't know it now, I'm just going to stop the show. Somebody got to guess. Somebody's got to guess. I'm not going to show his face till you guess. I guess if they don't want to see your face, then we'll know what's up. No. Oh, Eddie Gage, you said the wrong one, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Eric Vincent. EK's in the house. EK, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
What's going on, Dave? Thanks for having me on.
Doing outstanding. Albert begins saying, well, this was a fast show. Hey, glad to finally get you on here, bro. It's only been, a year.
I told you this before. Your show starts around my bedtime. I'm an old man.
Wait, you're not older than me, though?
I feel like I could be.
Okay, well, there's always that. In any event, welcome to the show, bro. Great to have you. And this is the perfect. Oh my gosh, I did not plan this very well, did I? 2 Toros on the show. Is that what this means now? Two Toros on the show? Is that what that
It's a
is?
Toro takeover.
Oh,
Toro
my
takeover.
Horns
gosh.
up, baby.
Somebody help me. Actually, that's okay. I've had enough Lone Star shows that I'm not feeling that terrible right now, to be honest with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's your panel for tonight. EK, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate it. Let's move.
No worries, man.
Hey, let's move on to real quick. Listen, I did not know. I just got some notes that it was Bryant Dynasty's birthday today and Tony Roberto's birthday as well. So happy birthday to them. They didn't make the Dave laying sexy on a cake graphic, but happy birthday to Cam, to Nate, to Bullet. And then I heard that Optimus's birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday to Optimus as well, including Dynasty and Tony Roberto. Happy birthday to everybody. A quick reminder, the bullways. Yeah, I'm not cleaning up anything, Charles. The SFL calendar, just a quick reminder again in case you weren't on the show or weren't listening to the show the last couple shows. The SFL calendar's been pushed back a little bit, which is fine. They're working to try to get the automated system up and running before they do anything. Josh Farnsey, good to see you, buddy, popping in here. So I don't know if we're still on the exact same schedule, but according to this, transactions are supposed to close on June 30th. I don't know if that will still be the case or if they will roll into July. We know that we did have, I think, almost a little over 3 weeks in July where there will be no transactions, excuse me, between June 30th and kickoff of season 17 on July 24th. So just a quick reminder there. I do want to go through the panel real quick. Yesterday and today, there were a couple things dropped. Chad, I'll start. Oh, are we having a smoke off right now? Is this what this is? Chad's done with all the drinking on the show. Now he's got to go to smoking with Robert Garrett Jr. There you go. Yep, the cigars are out, folks. This show. Oh, Eric, what is that? Is that a cigar? What was that? Look at these guys.
Just a little e-cig, man.
What do you guys think? You guys think this is like a party on this show or something? I don't know what's going on here. Let me run through the panel real quick. 2 things dropped in the last couple of days. Number 1, the owner rules, or the rules passed by the owners' meetings. Things that were passed, things that weren't passed. Chad, quick comment on any of those rules. Anything that you saw that was a big deal, something that stood out, something maybe that didn't pass, or what have you?
Nah, I mean, to me, the special teams thing was kind of interesting. The retirement didn't pass for Eddie, so bravo for him.
Yep.
So he could stay in the league. But now, like I said, the special teams thing, now you're going to have a special teams coach, whatever it is, I think it is, now kind of like the offensive line coach.
Right.
That was kind of interesting, but other than that, not really. I mean, strength going from 80 to 82 was okay.
It all seemed like a lot of little stuff, except for maybe the
it was a little.
thing,
It wasn't
right?
anything major, which we didn't think there was going to be anything major anyway. So, just it seemed normal to me. So.
Yeah, Robert, what about you? Do you see it the same way? The special teams thing, which I think is kind of cool. I think that's a good idea for now. If we're not expanding rosters and we're not going to be taking up, extra punter and kicker positions and whatever, does the special teams coach, like the offensive line coach, make sense to you?
First off, you asked if I thought it was a party, and I got to tell you, it's always a party when Eric's around. But yeah, the only thing with that to me is I don't feel like there's many teams in the league that are going to be interested in a punter, at least right now. Now, when rosters start expanding again, especially when we get to the automation side of things here soon, more teams will be interested in doing that. But for now, I just don't see it as a real big factor other than maybe a few teams that might have an extra spot they don't really want to fill and can plug in another player there.
Well, I thought the cool thing about that, Nate, was that you do have to pay for it, right? You have to pay. You're gonna have to pay for both your punter and your kicker, but they bumped up the cap, I think, to try to cover that. So I think that kind of balances things out. I think it's something some teams could take advantage of. If you already have a kicker, you already have a punter, you can just cover the other spot with your other guy, and you've got the cap space. Am I right?
Yeah, it is. I think it makes sense to combine them both, especially if, you know, a person might not want to do punter, but they have a thing for being a kicker to kick the field goals, to be on the stats, getting the points. But this way they can do both and have both special teams positions helping out their team.
Eddie Gage says he can't afford a kicker and a punter. Marco Swift, welcome, Marco. Didn't catch you earlier. It says special teams coach is a cool idea, I think. What do you think, EK? I kind of like it. I think that like I said to Nate, I think that they made some room for it, so it wouldn't be too much of a hindrance to do it on each team. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with Robert, honestly. I mean, it's one of those things where, there aren't too many teams that are utilizing the punter position in the first place. Coming from a broadcaster standpoint, I loved Ricky Matthews on Queen City when he was handling the kicking and the punting duties, because he was one of the only guys that did it. So it was kind of exciting. It was kind of different to see that, and plus it kind of opens up a spot for you to kind of utilize elsewhere. So you don't necessarily have to worry about a kicker and a punter. You've got one guy that handles both of them.
Right. I kind of like that too. EJ Minson chiming in here. He says, honestly, in my mind, the whole kicker costing 10 more against the cap is a far bigger thing than the ability to combine the kicker and the punter into one player, which is another good point. If anybody wants to talk more about the rules that passed or the rules that did not pass, we'll stick around and we can discuss some of that in After Dark. Second round of questioning real quick, Chad. There's a couple other articles dropped today. I didn't get a chance to read the second one. I read the first one. Top 5 snubs of the SFL honors. Don't know if you got a chance to look at it yet. If you got a chance to read it, it was a good read by Slyn and Axel Raven. If you did get a chance to read it, what did you think of the article? And do you agree with the people on there? And if you didn't, who's somebody that stands out in your mind that was snubbed in the SFL honors?
I mean, yeah, I kind of skimmed through it. I was driving too, but so I didn't really get a chance to read it too much. But I seen earlier, just so Eddie knows. Remember, Mark Mello is in the original voting, not in this one, so it's okay.
Right.
But that's just something from earlier. But yeah, the article was really well written. Obviously, I mean, all the articles really are. Here in the SFL, and for the snub part of it, I mean, there was some players on there that were interesting. I don't really know off the top of my head anybody that wasn't left out or that was left out. So, I mean,
there's a couple of people saying Bullet Biletsky was double snubbed.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that would be the only person. Now that they brought that up, yeah, that'd be the only person I would think that I didn't notice.
Yeah,
was
you
on
would.
there.
Okay, Robert, Bob Funk is on the list, which we've talked about actually the last couple of shows. I think that was a big snub. I want to ask you specifically. There was a big argument for several weeks on this show, and even between Jeremy and Andy in the show chat at one point, between Robert Redford and Jared McChesney, who the real MVP was. Now, down the stretch, obviously McChesney separated himself from Robert Redford, but is Robert Redford a snub based on what a great season he had right up until the end?
I think the thing about calling Robert Redford a snub is, Tom Pepper still got his mention. He got in there. And I don't know. To me, yes, they were both had extremely good seasons and things like that. But with these votings, you're really trying to take the best of the team, guys that put up these really good numbers. And I mean, Tom Pepper was in there for good reason. He threw the ball around the field extremely well. And I don't know that necessarily with bigger awards like Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, things like that. If you're not even the best offensive player on your team, I don't know that you can completely argue that. He still did have a great season and everything, though.
He did have a great season, Nate. We talked about that on this show a couple times, and if I'm not mistaken, you and Robert were both on that show where we discussed having multiple players like that on one team, which happens to be your former team, can hinder the voting. You'll split votes between your teammates and friends. Do you think that maybe at the end of the day, it's actually a good thing that only one of them got on the ballot?
I think it is, just because that way you can get your, vote for one player from your team that you were on, cast that one vote, um, because it's going to add up at the end in total votes. And we talked about it too. Anybody from that offense on Vancouver could have been considered a snub, but they were all equally good. And I think when it came down to it, Tom Pepper was the best of all that good offense that was to offer on the ballot this year.
Yeah. EK, actually, real quick, Ray Ray's in the house now. Ray, good to see you, sweetie. Glad you're here. I thought I saw somebody else. Freddie, I already saw. No, maybe not. I see a lot of Eddie Gage on there. Eddie Gage blowing up the chat tonight. What's up, Eddie Gage? EK, you can talk about one or both of the players I'm going to ask you about. It's your choice. We talked a lot about Bob Funk already, so I'm not sure your feelings on Bob Funk being snubbed. We kind of feel like that was a snub. But I kind of feel like there was a compelling case made in this article today for Josh Miller from Denver, the best player or the second best player on the best team. Do you agree with Robert that if you're not the best player on your team, you shouldn't even be the MVP? Or if you're the second best player on your team, could you still be the second best player in the league?
It's hard to say. Also, we don't notice Eddie as much because he's not talking in all caps tonight. So, although there's some of it right there. There you go.
Did it right on cue. Right on cue.
But it's hard to say, really. I do think that Josh Miller was a bit of a snub here, especially on a championship squad like the Denver Nightwings. I mean, they were just stacked across the board. I do agree with Eddie that McChesney is the offense for Denver to an extent. He certainly got the majority of the yards, but Miller has been that team since before they even moved to Denver. So it's kind of difficult in a season where he put up such great numbers and won a championship to not even include him in something.
Could there be an argument made to have McChesney be the MVP and him be the Offensive Player of the Year?
I could definitely see that argument, yeah.
Okay. For those of you, again, if you want to talk more about this, you want to debate some of this, I think this would be a great thing to debate because this article only talked about 5, and I think we can all agree. I'm sure we could have come up with 5 more, just like that, of people that we feel may have gotten snubbed. And again, this isn't a rip on camera of the league. That's a tough job when you're splitting hairs. You got to do what you got to do, and that's why he's the commissioner and we're not. So no ripping on Cam at all. Jimmy Hazard just hopped in. Good to see you, buddy. But I just think that there's a couple good cases in this article made for a couple players. So we can talk more about that on After Dark if you want. Don't forget that tomorrow, June 4th, the SFL honors will be announced. The winners will be announced tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. I think it's a whole show. I don't have the time written down right now, but I believe they're having a show tomorrow evening. So check the league alerts for that as well. What is Charles saying in here? Can we go back to Saint, Coach, and Block out for an hour or so? What does that mean? What's he talking about? Anybody know what he's talking about?
I think that's supposed to be ST for special teams.
Oh, can we go back to special teams, Coach, and Block? Okay. I was like, yeah, I either need an interpreter or Charles has had too much buttery Chardonnay already. I'm not sure which one. It could be both. You never know. It could be both. In any event, if you guys want to talk about either of those topics or the other article that came out that I did not get a chance to read yet, we can talk about that in After Dark. Let's hit on some minor league stuff real quick. As you know, I believe it's week 8 coming up in the SFL. They just had week 7 on Sunday. We covered the scores on that on Tuesday. I didn't find any graphics yet put out for this week, so I just kind of screenshot what the games are. Albuquerque at Memphis, Birmingham at Ottawa, Lexington at Madison, and Tacoma at San Jose. Times have not been decided, or if they have, they at least have not been posted yet. All these games are on Sunday, which just happens to be my birthday, June 6th, which is D-Day. I wonder why they call it D-Day. In further news, Jack's Data sent me this over. Did want to let you know, for the power rankings going into Week 8, Albuquerque at the top, of course, like they have been all season, followed by Salt Lake, Tacoma, Memphis, San Jose. Love me some San Jose. Madison, Ottawa, Lexington, and Birmingham still at the bottom. For this week's game, Memphis is a 7.5 point underdog. Ottawa is a 10.5 point favorite. Madison is a 3.5 point favorite, and San Jose is a 3.5 point favorite. 3 of the 4 home teams are favorites. You can see the win percentage possibilities and the over/under totals there as well. We are, like we did on Tuesday, we are going to knock Gunny out a little early, and I don't mean that physically. Let's see here. Let me see. There we go. I know that Ray Ray's here. Oh, look at that. And on cue. Everybody's on cue tonight, EK. First Eddie, now Ray Ray. Dude, this show is like on fire already. I'm loving it. Gunny, are you around by any chance?
I am, Dave. I'm here.
Awesome. Well, you are queued up and ready to go, so you can do your thing whenever you are ready, sir.
Good evening, everyone, and happy June. Way to go, Atlanta Hawks, my hometown basketball team. They shut down the New York Knicks this week. Happy birthday to all these guys in the month of June. Bryant Dynasty, Bullet Charlie Bolitsky, Nate Hall, and the commissioner, Cameron Irvine. I'm sure there are quite a few others that are born today on Perv June the 3rd day. But also Audibus Klein, happy belated birthday. Dave Access, D-Day, David Day, I'm assuming, on June the 6th. And I know my buddy Swole Williams, his birthday is coming up in a few days. So, again, happy birthday to all you guys born in the month of June here in the SFL. Congratulations to minor leaguer Stuart Zomelia on the birth of his twins the other day. And the newest minor leaguer that reported in yesterday is Robert Ivory, a strong safety. Good luck to all the minor leaguers in week number 8. Good luck to the San Jose Flight. This is their 3rd season. Have yet to make the playoffs this year, I believe, is that year. Dave, that's a short version. Enjoy the rest of the show. I look forward to the honors night tomorrow night. Congratulations to all the nominees. And with that, that is all.
Awesome. Thank you, Gunny, as always. And I don't know what just happened. For those, so here on the panel, we can never hear the music until the replay. But you guys should always be able to hear it. Did you guys hear Gunny's music tonight or no? It did not look to me like the sound was coming through, so I'm going to have to check that. Let me know if you guys heard Gunny's music. Ray Ray's saying no, EJ's saying no, a whole bunch of people saying no. All right, I'll get on top of that before episode 99. I have no idea what just happened there. You guys can still hear me, though, since I'm assuming since you're answering me. So there you go. All right, Gunny, thank you so much. Appreciate you, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. You know, we've had Diva of the Week now for a couple seasons. And last year at the end of season 15, we did Diva of the Year, which was won by your votes, by over 100 people voting for I'm the Man. Why am I the man, Frank? What did I do? Did I forget something? By messing up the sound, probably. By over 100 votes cast, Johnny Pickler was your Diva of the Year last season. Well, I figured, you know what? Let's take that a step further. And somebody, and I don't remember who it was on the show, recommended that we do an awards show called the Axies. Well, guess what? Boom. You asked for it, and we deliver it. So we are going to have our season 16 Axies Nominees Award Show tonight, right here, right now. 10 different categories, none of which you will see on any other show, anywhere, probably on the planet, let alone in the SFL. So before we start going through these 10 awards and the nominees, Chad, let me ask you real quick. Do you remember whose idea this was? I can't remember if it was on the show or if it was in the server. I just remember it wasn't my idea.
Yeah, I think it was in the server, wasn't it?
It might have been. You don't remember who it was, though, by any chance, do you? What are you typing in there, Chad? Robert, moving on to you, buddy. Do you happen to remember who it was that recommended this? Robert doesn't want to talk anymore, I guess.
Was it Greg Soto?
I don't know.
What's
maybe.
up?
Maybe. Robert, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember who it was that recommended the Axies, the whole idea? Oh, so
I have no idea. No.
Nate, anybody, Eric, anybody remember anything? I want to say it was like Greg or Johnny or somebody like that, but I don't remember for sure. Whoever you are, step forward when you get a chance because I want to give you something. I'm going to send you something. I'm going to send you a Access Live koozie or something just for having the idea. All right. Yep. You vote Soto. I see 3 or 4 Sotos in the house. Plus Chad said it, so we'll just give Soto the credit until the real person. Oh yeah, Benji, we do remember you were runner-up to Diva. Yeah, and that was close. It was only by like a couple votes. I remember that. Very close. Oh, look at everybody saying Soto. I guess Soto's getting a koozie, baby. What's up? All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The very first Axie Award nominee category is Greg Soto wanting a spanking from Dave as a gift. Oh, hey-o. Then now Soto shows up. Oh, by the way, that's not the category. Sorry. That's Greg Soto being Greg Soto. All right, the first category is Headwear of the Season. First nominee, my personal hat collection, which I haven't even gotten all the way through yet. Number 2, Tyler's flat caps. And I think he said he's got 3 or 4 of those bad boys that he rotates on a regular basis. Number 3, Charles's cardboard flat bill that he made in the middle of the show and wore it that had a flat bill bigger than my flat bill. Number 4, Robert Garrett Jr.'s cowboy hat that he just happens to be sporting tonight. And making the list at the last second, just under the wire from Tuesday night's show, Nate the birthday boy and his Mickey Mouse ears from Tuesday night. Chad, let me go to you first. You see these 5. Where do you got to go with this?
I mean, it's not your hat collection, so.
What?
I gotta go. Charles's cardboard flat bill. That thing was legendary. It was on cue. It wasn't thought out. It looked majestic, just like he does in a robe. I gotta give it to his flat bill.
Okay.
Charles is the clear winner in my mind.
That's what she said. A lot of pause in the chat tonight. Well, that's what happens when EK shows up to a party, is what Robert Garrett Jr. said. Let me see. 5. Josh Fargy says it's Nate's Mickey Mouse ears, and it's not even close. Bullet says Mickey Mouse ears. A couple people saying Yogi, saying it's the cardboard hat. I don't know. It looks like there's a couple front runners already. EK, I'm going to go to you since the other 2 guys are actually in the running. What do you think about this list, and where does your vote go?
That's a tough call, man, because Nate definitely looked good in them sequiny Mickey Mouse ears that he had on last night. Although they were probably
go ahead.
They were Minnie Mouse ears, though. I think he had the little bow on there.
Were they Minnie Mouse ears? Oh, let's change that graphic.
Aha!
Okay. So Nate's Minnie Mouse ears. By the way, at the end of the show, it's already ready to go. The voting will be posted in the Access Live server at the conclusion of the show. I've asked Eagle to wait till we go through all the awards before posting it in there, obviously, so there's no giveaways. Chad, what's up, buddy?
Can I change my vote now? I didn't know it was Minnie Mouse ears.
Yeah, you can. You can officially change it on the in the voting afterwards. By the way, real quick, this voting, you can only vote once. We're asking you to put your name on the ballot. And what I'm going to do is for everybody who votes, for every 50 people that vote, I'm going to do a giveaway for every 50 people. So if 50, then one person. If it's 102 people, I don't know that we'll get 150 votes. I think 120, 130 maybe is the most we've ever had. But if we get to 150, guess what? Boom. Then I'll do 3 giveaways. Looks like Hugo popping in here saying he's voting for the cowboy hat with a headset. Dude, I don't know how you did that. I tried to get my Coors Light cardboard, 12-pack cowboy hat looking thing on my head one time for show. Couldn't get the phones over it, couldn't get it under it. Robert, how do you do it, bro?
But if you watch, I actually have to adjust it, kind of like
Oh,
rings around the back
your
of my head.
Yeah, but was your
So
microphone on there too?
No, I got a standalone
That's the
mic.
problem. If I do that, my microphone's up in my freaking forehead.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to get some ears and a mic, so I can wear that hat. I think if I had worn that hat, it might have pushed me over the top in this voting, but I never got to wear it, so I will save it for the convention. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the very first category. Excuse me. Headwear of the season. Those are your 5 nominees. Moving on to category number 2, and that is quote of the season. Obviously, there's a few here that are just regulars. What's up, party people? The SFL. See you at the T's, and the infamous "You're muted, bro." Of course, I could not go without Eagles' dumpster fire comment, and my personal favorite, when Eddie Gage lost and got kicked out of the Survivor pool. My goodbye to him on air, saying "Na na na na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye, doe." So those are those 5 quotes up for quote of the season. Nate, let's go to you first. What do you like here of these 5?
Probably because I've been a victim of this, I'm gonna go with number 3. You're muted, bro. Just because I don't know how to press the volume button. Apparently,
I
most
think
times,
almost
so.
everybody's been a victim of that one for sure. Robert Garrett Jr., where you at on the quote of the season?
Oh, it's got to go to dumpster fire. I mean, Eagle said exactly everything everybody wanted to say
At that time, yeah.
because he was drunk.
Yeah, which is another great thing that we should talk about here pretty soon. Jimmy has, yeah, your muted, bro, is tough. I would say, I mean, that's a tough one, right? I mean, it's an everyday occurrence or every show occurrence, it seems like, Chad, or at least it was for a long time. Where are you going with the quote of the season?
Kind of have to go with dumpster fire. I mean, no offense, but it's just
You guys are terrible.
At that time,
Yeah.
that was a quote that nobody saw coming. We like Drunk Eagle, so yeah.
Hey, Dwayne, I understand he's your GM and you're trying to protect him, but nobody believes that, bro. We all know he was drunk.
He was at least halfway there.
Gunny's asking for
He was
drunkest
Bob Dylan.
panelist.
He was
Gunny's asking if there's a drunkest panelist category. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We got 8 more to go after this. Let me hit EK up real quick. Quote of the season, EK. Where are you going with this one?
I mean, You're Muted, Bro is a classic, but because it seems to happen every episode, or at least the little bit that I've caught. So now that I know the context of dumpster fire,
which just happens to be another rival of 3/5 of us tonight, right? Perfect. There you go. All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Category number 1 was headwear. Category number 2, quote of the season. Moving on to category number 3, at Gunny's request, best intoxicated panelist. Number 1, Chad drinks an entire bottle of whiskey on the show. Number 2, Charles swirling his, not just his words, but his buttery Chardonnay as well. Number 3, this one's for you, Dwayne, Eagles beers and dumpster fires. Number 4, Johnny coming on, calling the SFL minor leaguers scabs. And number 5, on the same show, Johnny and Soto, by the way, were on the same show. Soto pounding Japanese whiskey shots, like showing every single one right up in front of the camera on that show. So, Chad, I'm not even going to go to you on this one. Let's start with Robert Garrett Jr. Gunny says Chad and I had another hour conversation after that show. I bet everybody had an hour conversation with Chad after that show. Robert, where are you going with this one? Best intoxicated panelist.
Man, that's tough. I honestly, I think it'll come down to the moment I'm voting, bouncing between Eagle and Chad. I mean, both were pretty classic moments. Obviously, we talked about Eagles a little bit already. But yeah, Chad made the show entertaining that night for sure.
I will say, Nate, that Chad does hold the record. He is the only person to ever drink an entire bottle of whiskey on an Axis Live show. So what do you think about the other 4, though?
The other 4 are going to be close seconds to Chad. I'm just going to go with that right now. And you got to remember, too, that show, he had down that entire bottle and ended up helping us choose the winning fantasy team that night.
That's right.
So not only did he drink that whole thing, but he was
Wow.
still able to function to help us out later on at the end of that show.
Charles is saying, I'm getting sick just thinking about an entire bottle of whiskey. That's a great point, Nate. I forgot that that's the night that we chose the fantasy playoff team for Objective Zero, and your drunk ass has picked a winning team.
You're welcome, Objective Zero.
You're welcome, You're welcome, Charity. All right. Let me see. Who else? Did I ask anybody else? Chad, I was going to ask you. EK, did I ask? Let me go to you on this one.
I mean, I went with Eagle on the last one, so I got to go with Chad on this one. Plus, hats off to you, Chad, man. Going ahead and downing a bottle of whiskey on air. Ooh, my guy. And then picking a winning fantasy team. Come on. Got to go to you.
Dude, that was money. That was money. All right. All right. So, headwear, quote, and best intoxicated panelist, 3 down, 7 to go for your inaugural Axies Awards nominees. Award number 4, or category number 4, I should say. Partner of the season. Let me explain this one a little bit. There's a lot of people that come in and out of the show and help out and do stuff, but they don't fall under certain categories. So I made this category for them. Partner of the season. Nominee number 1. Axel Raven and Frank the Franchise Wade helping me out with graphics when I was sick, when my aunt passed away, when I was on vacation. There's been a lot of times where I've needed help, and they've stepped up and helped me knock out graphics. And this is why I think it's important to put them on here and to mention this. This was during the busiest time of the year where we've got 12 SFL games and the minor leagues are going. We're doing almost like 16 games a show. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of graphics. There's a lot of information on there. And they Ray said I would be terrible on a show drink. Well, you know what? Let's put that to the test, Ray. So I want to make sure that you understood why I put Axel Raven and Frank the Franchise Wade on here. Number 2, Cam Irvine. Listen, he's probably been on the show, other than Frank, and the panelists that are regulars. Cam's probably been on the show more than anybody. He never refuses to come on. He hops on like after dark like he did the other night when he wants to. He's a big supporter of the show. He's been a big supporter of the show from the very beginning. So that's why Cam is on there. Number 3, Netma. Tyler Falk kind of got his start here before he launched Netma. And if those of you who remember, he started doing the 2-minute drill here with us in last offseason for the minor league. But he's here all the time. He had that unforgettable circle. That was his home away from home until I started doing the mystery panelists. And he's always willing to step up. He's always willing to fill in. He's helped out with the show. He's even helped produce it a little bit, done some stuff behind the scenes with the Discord and what have you. So Tyler Falk has done a lot for Access Live. That's why he is your number 3 nominee in this category. Number 4, Jack's Data. I mean, we use them every single week on this show. They give us the weekly spreads, the over-unders, the percentage wins, the whole 9 yards. And I got to be honest with you, Thursday's a busy day for Hunter at work, at his job, and he still gets them to me, and I'm very appreciative of it, as I'm sure you are as well. And then number 5 is the Survivor Pool. Johnny runs the Survivor Pool. A couple seasons now, and he's always good about making sure to get me the data, get me the graphics, give me the lowdown on who's done what, who's in, who's out, all that stuff, so I can share it with you on the show. So there are your 5 nominees for Partner of the Season. Chad, let me start with you since I didn't talk to you on the last one. When you talk about Partner of the Season, I mean, they're all good, but where do you see your vote going?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a really tough one because all of these have done a tremendous job. Maybe the least amount is Johnny. That don't do anything. Johnny, get the fuck out of here. But no, I gotta go with Jack's Data, man. Because that's a lot of work to put that math through and do all that stuff each and every week. Plus, during the playoffs, I guess there's not so much going on, but then you also have the minor leagues at the same time too. They're kind of double dipping there. So got to go with Jack State on it. Show the love to them.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's jump down the line to EK. EK, as you look at these 5, what do you see?
It's close. Like Chad was saying, all 5 very deserving to be in there. It's very difficult to really choose any one. Jack's Data and Netma, they just jumped out right away to me. I know how hard Jack's Data works. I know how hard Tyler Falk works. I love working with Tyler. He is a consummate professional, does his job, does it well in multiple facets, excuse me. So, it's hard to narrow it down, but, I got to give 1 and 1A to Netma and Jack's data.
Okay. Robert Garrett Jr., what about you? Real quick. Ray's saying chat already went to After Dark earlier with his language, I guess. Robert, where are you going?
Yeah, I think I'm also going to go Jack's data here. Not only have they done a lot for the show, but honestly, I think it adds another dimension for even teams and coaching staffs to look at. So, sometimes you look at the spreads and you're a 7.5-point underdog, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I think it adds a little bit of chip to team shoulders sometimes, and I think that's a good thing overall for the league. And then obviously, the stats are good to share on the show and give people insight and another thing to talk about.
Awesome. Nate, you got the last word on this one.
I would have to call it a clean sweep on the panel and say Jack stated just the reasons that these guys are stating. They put in so much work in this league, providing the spreads and the over-unders and even the winning percentage. It's just so much time and efforts put into that each week for both the minors and majors that it's just over the top and appreciated.
Okay. All right. So that's, what is that, 4 categories down now. Headwear of the year, quote of the season, intoxicated panelist of the season, partner of the season, and now we move on to show moment of the season. We have 6 nominees here. Nominee number 1, Johnny, early on in the season, week 4, coming on, giving his opinion on Swamp Talk that started a whole bunch of other conversations and some other things going on. Number 2, Evan Lacey, Diva of the Week tribute. It's Van Lacey's. Evan Lacey is his son. But the week that the league did his tribute, he won Diva of the Week. He came on. Ace Fennick did that just amazing, heartfelt video for him, and he piggybacked that with the video that was made by Tom Welsh for the league. And that was just a very emotional, very just sincere moment on Axies Live. I can't remember, somewhere around the middle of the season, maybe week 6, week 8, somewhere around there. Number 3, this is where the Matrix began. The night that Bo Morpheus Jr. is in his living room, and then the Matrix happens, and when he comes back, boom, he's in his studio. Bo Morpheus Jr. morphs into an entire different room while on the show, right in front of everybody. Number 4, we had a time where we had a panelist, and I don't remember who it was, couldn't show up at the last second, and Cam was on the show that night. He might have been the night he was the first mystery panelist, and he took up 2 circles. He did double duty. He even argued with himself, which I think he lost. And it was just one of those moments that you don't see very often. You'll probably never see it again. But Cam taking up both the unedited and the unforgettable circle that night. Definitely some recognition. Oh, was that you, Robert?
Yeah, it was me. I forget what I had come up, but something came up last minute, and I couldn't come on the show.
So I guess we know where Robert's vote's going. Number 5, Johnny again. Johnny comes on and shocks the world with an early announcement before the season's over that he is parting ways with Louisiana. Again, starting another thing with Louisiana, and then I believe being cut later that week by the team. And then number 6, I don't know, we couldn't leave this one out, especially since it's been happening so many times. Mike is all over his new home. 11 different rooms in his house he has broadcast from on the last 11 shows. And counting, by the way. He says he's got something in store for the 100th. I'm kind of a little afraid of what it could possibly be. Robert, since we already mentioned you, let's go to you first. Show moment of the season. There's your 6 nominees. Who you got?
Honestly, as much as you may have thought I was going to go into the one that I kind of accidentally took part in causing.
I mean, part of that award should go to you, technically, right?
Yeah. No, I think that the Swamp Talk opinion from Johnny just came out of left field and shocked a lot of people. Yeah. And I think it gave that first look and kind of the disascension of the team or the front office and Johnny rather. and really kind of sparked all the conversation and everything.
A lot of conversation in the chat for Evan Lacey and for Johnny. Well, Johnny having 2 of the 6 nominees, EK, kind of gives him maybe a slight advantage there. Where do you see of these 6 nominees, which one's the show moment of the season for you?
Yeah, I mean, Robert's got a huge point because I remember I didn't watch the show, but I remember all of a sudden the rumblings happening in the chat, and everyone was saying, "Oh, Johnny's gone. Johnny's gone." What do you mean he's gone? He just showed up. What happened? So I remember that happening, and I remember that was a groundbreaking episode there that he had. But I'll go Evan Lacey just because I love the story of Evan and Van. It's just such a great story, man. I love hearing about it every time.
Nate, what about you? Those 6. Actually, before you answer, Dwayne says 1 and 5 were kind of linked, though they were, but since they were 2 separate moments, especially since one was near the beginning of the season and one was near the end of the season, I wanted to separate them. Nate, who you got here?
I think Evan Lacey's tribute holds a special place for me just because Vancouver's locker room kind of experienced the same thing with Rich Pratchard the previous season. Just that whole tribute with Evan Lacey, that the way it was done, and that whole story, like EK was saying, just really awesome story, and a heartbreaking event that happened to that family. I think if there was a special mention, though, I would have to say Bo Morpheus in his Matrix, just because we've all been caught in his Matrix.
Dude,
at one
it's
time
been
or
a thing
another.
ever since then now, right? It's a big part of the show now.
It has, and his powers have gotten so great that he wasn't even in the chat one night, and somebody was still getting caught up in the Matrix. So it's expanding.
The force is strong with that one. I'm mixing my movie lines, apparently. The way that Chad likes to mix whiskey, I guess. Chad, these 6, you don't mix it, do you? Just straight from the bottle, man. Look at this guy. Chad is a real man. I would never drink that. Was that habanero that night? The habanero one?
That was Old Smoky Mango Habanero whiskey.
Yeah, and that's one of my All right.
So you get that sweet and that spicy.
Yeah, kind of like me, a lot like me. I get it. Chad, show moment of the season for you of the 6.
That's the show moment of the season.
You
calling yourself sweet and spicy.
I tell myself that all the time.
I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, Bo obviously starting the Matrix. God only knows where that's going to end up at. I mean, we're all going to end up in the Matrix someday.
We're all going
to. Johnny's stuff. I mean, that's a whole different thing. I'm still, waiting to see the hot tub scene from Mike All's house if he's going to do a hot tub. If he has a hot tub, I don't know.
He says he's got something special planned for the 100th show. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So
please let it be hot tub. Please let it be. I mean, for me, it's Eddie Lacy, man. See, sorry, God, that's terrible. Evan Lacey. That was a pretty special moment, I think, in the league, for this season as well. So I got to go with Evan Lacey on that one.
Charles in the chat, this segment brought to you by the at-home stomach pump. Talking about that whiskey. All right, ladies and gents, we're halfway through the awards. 5 down, 5 to go. Your 6th category for the inaugural Axies Awards nominees is show of the season. So we had the show moment. Now here's show of the season. Number 1, the season 16 kickoff show where we went live camera for the very first time here on Axis Live. Number 2, I don't remember when that was. Maybe Swole. I saw Swole in the chat. Maybe he'll remember because he's the one who helped me put it together. When we finally got emotes for the show, and that night got crazy out of hand. We ended up having like a 6 or 7 layer hype train thing that I didn't even know what it was at the time. And the show just went sideways and went crazy. First time we had show emotes. First time we had the hype train ever on this show. That was a pretty crazy show. Number 3, my interview with Shan and Demond. And I put or the follow-up show. So that was a Tuesday, Thursday thing. I did the interview on Tuesday. And I did the because Eddie, that was last season. This is just for this season, bro. That was we didn't do one. That was season 15. That's why I didn't put the veteran show on there. Shan and Damon interview, and then was on Tuesday. The follow-up show with people calling in was on Thursday. Those 2 shows are number one and number two for video on demand views um, on Twitch for Access Live. So a lot of people interested in those topics, and it was a big deal at the time. And lots of people tuned in live. We had some of our highest live viewerships as well for that show. Number 4, and this is where Eddie Gage might be thinking about that we did this instead. This was early on in the season. We did compelling rookie stories. Chris Lee came on and shared his battle with cancer. I believe it was, I can't remember the type of cancer, but cancer when he was very young, and he was like, only 70 pounds, and his struggles as a child, having to struggle through cancer. Tyler Falk came on with his dad and explained why he has the player name Mike Ryan, what a special friend Mike Ryan was to his dad and to Tyler before he passed away as well. And then, of course, Van Lacey came on to share the tragic story of his son, Evan. And that entire show, I don't think there was a dry eye in the crowd that night with all of those stories going on. And then number 5 is the show where everything that could go wrong on this show did go wrong. I was muted. You couldn't hear me. You couldn't hear the music. We got bumped off air, but then you could hear the mic, and then Winkler came on, and you could hear me and Winkler talk about how to fix things. And it was just the shit show of all shit shows. So there are your 5 nominees. We've got some good ones, some bad ones, some heartfelt ones. There's a big mixture here on this one. This might be the toughest category because they're all so different. Chad, let me start with you. Show of the season, those 5 nominees. What's your pick?
Yeah, I thought that one earlier was going to be tough. This one's pretty tough too. I got to go with the Shannon DeMond interview. That was a really big show because we all wanted to see what Shan was going to say and what DeMond was going to say and all this stuff, and it really, I think, opened eyes for a lot of people in a good way, I think. And obviously it's the most video on demand episode for you as well. So that's my pick. I mean, it's really a slim margin, but I would have to go with that interview.
Ray saying we were all muted, bro. I think she's talking about my shit. I don't know if she's talking about number 5, my shit show. Can number 3 and number 4 split the vote? Yeah, if you vote for one and maybe have your wife vote for the other one, I guess. As long as you guys put your name on the ballots, I don't care. Robert Garrett Jr., show of the season.
Yeah, I think I also got to go with the interview and the follow-up show. I mean, it's the most viewed for a reason. It opened a lot of eyes, like Chad said, and even players that were on the team involved that didn't know what was going on or how things were happening. So
right.
I think it was good for everybody.
Oh, Ray's talking about the Shannon DeMond show. I see. That's right. I muted the Twitch channel on that because I didn't want anybody arguing and giving their feedback during the interview. That's right. Thanks for reminding me about that, Ray. Marco Swift says even my wife watched the Shan and DeMond interview. By the way, I'm not those numbers. So my average VOD numbers are probably about 300-ish, 300 to 400. One of those shows went well over 400 to almost 500, and one of them went to almost 600. By far my biggest show, one of those 2 Shannon DeMond shows. Nate, what about you?
I think it's going to come down to either number 3 or number 4. Since the other 2 mentioned number 3, I'm just going to go out and say number 4 is going to be up there as well. Just because of how, it was interesting to hear the stories of each one of those individuals and what they were dealing with and their struggles and how they, came back and fought adversity and let us know how they were doing and so forth.
Last word to you, EK. Show of the season.
3 jumped out at me right away. Shannon DeMond. I mean, it was just one of those interviews that you had a lot of different opinions from both sides. Chad and Robert were right. I mean, it opened a lot of eyes to a lot of different people. You still got a lot of different people with different opinions. It's still one of those things that is very much talked about. So I got to go with that one.
Okay. All right. So that's 6 down, 4 to go, and we're doing great on time right now. So let's keep moving. We just had, before that, show moment of the season. This was show of the season. Now we move into something a little more personal, and we get mystery panelist of the season. Eric Vincent is number 14, just made the cut. So whoever the next mystery panelist is got completely screwed. Mystery panelist of the season. Cam came in and kicked things off. Then my boss, Charles Doherty, came in. MSG came in and did a solid job and even helped out on a couple shows to fill in since that time. Marcus Dunhill, I thought, crushed it. I thought he hit it out of the park. He thought he had some camera issues. Here's something funny about Marcus. Had to dig his camera out. It had been, I think he said he hadn't used it in like 2 years. And he didn't have a spot for it, so he duct taped it to the wall. Then he went to sleep and forgot about it, and like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he hears this big bang. And the camera came crashing down off the wall onto the floor. And I'm guessing he's probably not using that camera again. So there's your Marcus Dunhill story. Number 5, Coach Craven, after taking some time off the show and moving across the country along with Doug Day, pops back on as a mystery panelist. Number 6, favorite quarterback everybody loves to hate or loves to love, Johnny Pickler. Number 7, T. Roy Gaines, his very first time on the show, and still the only time I think on that show, did a super solid job. Number 8, Andrew Rastelli. This was the funniest one, I think, because if you guys remember when I was introducing the panelists, I screwed up and I uncensored him before when I was trying to introduce the unedited circle, and and some of the people, even when they saw him, they didn't know who he was because he's so behind the scenes. He's not in the public eye very often. So I guess if I was going to screw up on one show, that was the one to do it on. But Andrew did a solid job as well. Number 9, Nelson Lozano, coming back after just a terrible situation where he was stabbed 3 times and going through recovery and been off his show for a couple months, to come back on here as a mystery panelist and to announce that he was coming back and his show was going to be starting up again. Number 10, probably somebody that's a top 5 nominee for best voice in the SFL. Mike Twinscrew coming on. That's where he kind of debuted for this season and has been on doing weeklies with his positional rankings ever since. Number 11, Ross Napoli, the GM of Louisiana, the editor of Swamp Talk, who just also had the Swamp Talk Awards, I think it was last Friday, which, by the way, this show won, and I gave all the credit to the panelists and to the crowd because, like I said, then, without you guys, there's no show. Slyn Shady staying up till God knows whatever time it was in England to do this show. Slyn knocks it out of the park every time he's on a show, whether he's on here, whether he's on Coach's show, it doesn't matter. On Tuesday, we had Harish, who I thought was his first time on the show. Apparently he had been Diva of the Week once before that I had forgotten about. But Harish handled things very well, especially with being put on the spot with some owner questions I had to throw at him. And then sneaking in here at number 14, the man of the hour for this show, for episode 98, EK, Eric Vincent, doing a stand-up job, has an opinion on everything so far, and he's knocking it out of the park. So, Chad, let me start with you. I won't go to Eric on this one since he's in there like I didn't go to you on the intoxicated one. 14 choices. Who are you going with?
Man, that's tough. That's a tough choice. There's a lot of good ones. I mean, Eric is actually doing a pretty good job tonight, so kudos to him. But I gotta go. Man, Jesus, you put me on the spot.
That's why you're here.
Marcus did a really good job.
Who'd you say?
I said Marcus did a fantastic job.
Marcus did a great job. He did.
Rostelli was pretty funny. T-Roy, my boy T-Roy, former teammate. But I gotta go with the sexiest guy on this panel, which is Harish Prasad. He is a majestic beast. Harish Prasad is. So I'm going with Harish, man. I'm going to show Harish a little love here. So,
all right, Robert Garrett Jr. What about you?
Man, this is, I think, the one question where I wish I had at least 3 votes. Obviously, I got to show love to Eric. Toro's teammates and everything, and obviously, Harish is my father. But The one that stands out to me, I got to be part of the show. The look of just disappointment that Rastelli gave you when you uncensored his camera instead of somebody else's. It stays in my mind, and I got to go with Rastelli.
Oh snap! Yeah, that's you know what, and then and it's not even like where I still had my finger on the trigger and I went right back to it. It took me like 4 or 5 seconds to figure out what the hell to do. That was terrible. Nate, mystery panels of the season.
I'm actually gonna have to go with Mike Twinscrew on this one because when he came on, we all know the voice, right? With
Right.
the rookie boards and everything that he does behind the scenes. But when he came on, uh, he just kind of knocked it out of the park when he came on video, and it was nice to see him.
Yeah,
on
and he was
camera
funny.
for a
He was funny that night.
Yeah,
too.
he was.
I
He
agree.
was.
I agree with that. All right, so there you go. We've got 14 mystery panelists of the season to include EK, who snuck in at the wire. Again, the next mystery panelist is just getting screwed. I don't know what to tell you. We've only got a few more categories left. Swole. I'm going to check the chat real quick. I haven't checked the chat in a little bit. Swole says number 4. He says Marcus Dunhill. I'm shocked by that an Atlanta guy would pick another Atlanta guy. Let me see here. Who else? Oh, Bryant, is that Bryant Dynasty in the house now? Hey, happy birthday, Bryant Dynasty. I didn't see you at the beginning of the show. People saying Slyn Shady, a couple people. Twin Screw. Wow, Cam. Wow, I see Nelson. Wow, everybody. I wonder if this might be the closest vote once we get there. I will be surprised if it's not. All right. What do we have left here? We've got 1, 2, only 3 left. 7 down, 3 to go. Here is your next category, ladies and gentlemen. We did mystery panelists of the season, so you know we got to do panelist of the season. We have a Sweet 16 here, and I put all 16 of them on the list. Benji Matson, Bo Martin Jr., Chad Rowland, Coach Craven, Eagle Mondavi, Eddie Gage, Frank Wade, Greg Soto, Gunny, of course, has to make the list, Jeff Gagne, Mike All, Mike Percoco, Nate Hall, Robert, Garrett Jr., the guy who messed up my graphic, Tyler Falk, and then, of course, Winkler. Now, some of these people didn't start at the beginning of the season, like Nate, and I think there's one more on there, or Jeff Gagne. A couple guys, did early in the season. They haven't been around quite as much later, like Wink or Eddie. Eddie's been busy. Coach had to move. This is the whole reason why we have 16 panelists, is because people have lives, and lives, get in the way. And obviously, your life, your family, your job, things you're doing are more important than, Access Live. So we understand that, and that's why we have so many panelists, and we rotate everybody around. On top of that, we don't want anybody getting burned out, having to do every show twice a week. I mean, damn, I could barely do it. So we don't want to put other people in my position, trust me. Some people already out there. Sexiest voice, Benji Matson. What else? Tacoma, wide receiver 11. What's up, Dave? What's going on, bro? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Greg Soto says, Frank Wade gets my vote. This guy says no to his family to come on the show. That's kind of true. How about Nate Hall here on his birthday? How do you like that? Eric, I'm going to start with you because all these guys are on the list. So I'm just going to talk to you about this one.
I knew you were going to put me on the spot.
You know what? And you know what? Listen, and just you know what? You got to speak. Hey, listen, Chad just a second ago said you were doing a stand-up job, but he had to go elsewhere. So just say the same thing. I think Chad's done a great job, but F Chad.
No, and honestly, I love being on the show. You guys are great. Obviously, I work with Robert all the time, so it's easy to like Robert. And all respect, Dave. Gunny's the star of the show, man. I mean, you gotta love Gunny.
That's you know what? That's a great point. You know what? I think I am going to go to the other panelists. Chad, let me start with you. Take yourself out of the mix. Panelist of the season. Who would you go with if you take yourself out?
Yeah, it ain't fucking me, that's for sure. To me, yeah.
Well, no, I don't know. It's not. It's obviously not an award for the most prompt panelist.
No, because I'm always usually on time.
I know you are. I'm gonna give you shit.
Blame Mayor Hogsett in Indianapolis for deciding to shut down a fucking interstate.
Well, write your congressman.
Yeah, well, that don't do shit. So to me, I mean, I went with the sexiest guy on that panel before, which was Harish. I gotta go now with the sexiest voice,
Oh, here we
and
go.
my tight end, Benji Madsen.
How tight is it, Chad?
You have no idea, but he is the man, the myth, the legend, Benji Madsen. I gotta go with him. I mean,
Okay.
Gunny's right there, but Benji, dude, when he comes on,
Gotcha.
my eyes just sparkle.
Well, yeah, somebody said in the chat Gunny is on every show. That's true. Gunny's only missed 2 shows. And I'd say probably next on that list, most shows is probably Frank, I would think. Um, Robert, take yourself out of the mix. Who's panelist of the season?
I mean, I got to go with the person that I wish I could be every day, including the cover model of the tight ends calendar, Benji Matson. He's always a trip to be on the show.
Look at Chad giving London love. You're giving tight end love. Let's go to somebody who doesn't have another dog in the race, if you will. Nate, take yourself and Benji Matson out of the equation.
Boy, I wasn't even gonna say Benji. I was gonna go with my boy Gunny just because he's always on point with everything he does, every show that he's on.
True that.
Every being a military brother like myself, it's a veteran like myself. Just the way he does everything on the show is outstanding, and I gotta give him props.
I completely agree with you. Hugo said that pesky eagle is good too. Somebody's saying, who was the architect of that tight end? Oh, look at Frank. Just reminding all of you who want to vote for Benji that Frank is the reason Benji was even on the calendar. Nice angle, Frank. Atta boy. They don't call him the franchise for nothing, baby. All right. We've only got 2 categories left, folks. We already ran through 8 of them. And this next one is actually my favorite category out of all of them. And to be honest with you, I think it'll be the toughest or second toughest. Maybe possibly the closest vote, along with the other one we discussed earlier. But this is my favorite category, and you'll know why, because you know what my favorite part of the show is. My favorite part of the show is you guys, the party people. So we will have a category of Party Peep of the Season. Now, this wasn't easy. We had a lot of back and forth in the Sweet 16 talking about people, and these are the 6 names we came up with. Number 1, I put them in alphabetical order. Art Vandelay. Art Vandelay is always in the Access Live server. He always does those funny, the same exact GIF before the show, the one to Airplane, And then if you've ever seen the movie Airplane, then the guy comes in after they've all landed and deported the plane. He says, "I just want to tell you good luck." He does that after the show as well. He's always in the show. Now tonight he's not here, but he's one of the few people that go out of their way and say, "Hey Dave, my only daughter's graduation is tonight. What do you think I should do? Should I go to the graduation or listen to your show?" And I was like, "Whew, that's a toss-up, man. I don't know, 51-49, go to the graduation, I guess." So Art Vandelay, always around, always in the chat, always in the server. A great guy to have supporting the show. Number 2, Bob Funk. Bob Funk, who, by the way, just crushed his pinky in an elevator the other day and got x-rays, and he's getting it all operated on, I think, this week. Another guy who's always in the server, always in the show chat. He hardly ever misses a show. Again, he's another guy who does a lot of the gifts before, during, and after the show in the server. Nate Hall, and he's still in chat. Who are you talking about? Nate?
I was talking about Bob Funk. He just crushed his pinky, and he's still the last couple of shows.
And he was
still
still on the
always
show. He was still on the show on Tuesday. He had just done it that day.
Yep. Yeah, he's a tough guy.
Yep. Number 3, Cam Curtis was already going to be on here anyway, regardless of what he did Tuesday night, because he was second behind Gunny with giving away the most gift subs in the show chat. If you were here Tuesday night, you saw he did 25 to blow past Gunny and take a 10 gift sub-gift lead. And then 1 minute later, Gunny does 10 more to tie him up at 51 apiece. Cam Curtis also is responsible for helping me with the emotes. He actually made one of the emotes. I don't think that anybody's gotten to yet because I made it a higher level one because it's so badass. So Cam Curtis, he's been in a lot of shows. He's always in the chat. He's in the server. He gives away gift subs, and he helped with an emote. So Cam Curtis is definitely on the list. A lot like Art Vandelay and Bob Funk, Doug Britton, the same thing. Always talking to me about the show. He's always in the Axies Live Discord server. He's always on the show. He's always talking in the chat. Doug Britton with, and again, if you look at Art, Bob, and Doug in the parentheses, server and show interaction, and really that's what this whole show is about. That's why it's a live show, is so we can interact with you in the chat. So Art, Bob, Cam, Doug. Number 5, Guy Clausen. Guy Clausen is another one like Art, Bob, and Doug, but he is the guy I call Mr. Remote. Because if you put an emote on anything in the SFL, he will come behind you and he will give you your second emote on whatever you say. You know, if it's a GIF, a comment, whatever it is, he does the same thing in the server. And if I don't know if you guys know, he's Mighty Joe Young in the show chat, and so you know he's here every show. I think if I had to guess who has listened to the most shows, I would probably say it's Guy Clausen. And then number 6, we cannot have this category without throwing it out. My girl, Ray Ray. Always ready with the Marines hymn lyrics for Gunny. And just so you know, after Cam and Gunny, the next most gift subs is Ray Ray with 14. So between her always being here in the show, always active in the chat, having the Marines hymns lyrics ready, and giving away 14 gift subs, of course, she's on the list as well. Chad, let me run through these real quick. Tell me, who do you think is your party peep of season 16?
Yeah, I mean, all of these, first off, are fantastic nominations. I mean, this one's going to be the toughest one probably. But you know, when we first started talking about it in the Sweet 16, you know, I have one name in my mind and one name only, and that's number 6, Ray Ray. You know, on cue every time with the Marine hymn and you know, just being active in the chat and stuff. I got to go with Ray Ray 100% on it.
All right, Robert Garrett Jr.
I got to go with my quarterback and my vote for Offensive Rookie of the Year, Cam Curtis here. I mean, 51 gift subs is a lot, especially if you were to sit down and, you know, break down how much that is and everything. So I think that's a big thing and showing a lot of support.
All right, Nate, what about you?
I'm going with Chad on this one and saying Ray Ray, just because she's always on cue with those lyrics for Gunny every time that he comes on. And it's how active she is on every show and every chat.
Nice. All right, EK, you got the last word on this one. Who do you think is the party peep of the season for season 16?
I got to give props to Ray Ray. I love seeing the Marines hymn. I love it every time. But that's my quarterback, Cam Curtis. And it was fun to watch on Tuesday, man. All of a sudden, you just see it blow up in the chat. He just bought a ton of subs. Yes.
That was crazy. He did 25. A minute later, Gunny does 10. It's like, it was, yeah, that was pretty insane. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there are your 6 party peep of the season nominees for the inaugural Axies Awards. That brings us to our final category. I'm feeling kind of sad. I wish maybe I should have done more. I don't know. Here it is, and you guys all know what it is anyway. That's why I saved it for last. It's kind of a big deal on this show. We talk about it once in a while, like, I don't know, every week. And that is your Diva of the Season. Now, this has a whole different set of standards to be nominated. You have to be nominated for Diva of the Week in order to be considered, and only Diva of the Weeks for that season can be considered. So let's run through this season's Diva of the Week winners. Week 1, BDG Hollywood. Week 2, Peanut Say. Week 3, who's that? Chad, I can't read that. What does that say?
Angus McLean, baby.
Number 4, CB12. Week 5, apparently that's when Harish was here on the show. I forgot about, but that was a long time ago, so that's probably why I didn't remember. Number 6, DD Sachs. I bet Eddie's going to love that one. Number 7, Evan Lacey with the tribute, the Diva of the Week tribute that we talked about earlier in the show. Number 8, we just got done talking about her. Ray Ray up for another one. What's going on here? Week 9, I don't think anybody will ever forget Bo Martin Jr. saying, I don't know, probably no less than a dozen times during his Diva of the Week speech, Dustin McCrack. Dustin McCrack. Dustin McCrack. See, I can't even say it like he does. When I say it, it sounds like it's normal. Week 10, another Arizona guy, DJ Moses. Week 11, the Lone Star person on this list, and Ike McBride. Week 12, Eagle got it. Wild card weekend, Chad, your Lexington Miners, the only time a minor league team has won the award in 2 seasons that we've had it. In the quarterfinals, Kendra Hall, if I remember correctly, I nominated her that week, and she did all her damage in like 2 quarters and then took the rest of the game off. She was so good. I believe she was nominated the following week, too, in the semifinals when McChesney just ran away with it. Yogi says 2 Lone Stars. Who am I missing?
Evan Lacey.
Oh, Evan Lacey. Yeah, I'm sorry. Good catch, Yogi. Yeah, McChesney just blew everybody away. And then, of course, the championship game. We didn't even, it was so classic, we didn't even vote on it. We just gave it to Kramer. 100% of the Sweet 16 all said it was Kramer Jackman with a walk-off field goal to win the championship to end his career. EK, let me start with you on this one. Diva of the season. There's a lot of choices up there. There was a lot that happened this season. I don't know how you picked just one, but I'm going to make you do it anyway.
Well, Dave, let me educate you. It's Dustin McRack. That's how you pronounce it.
Well, I'm
McRack.
sure you've had to say it many times on air.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But no, that week 9, though, I was blown away with how many punts that he downed. I think it was inside the 5. I think he had like 3 or 4 punts inside the 5, which was insane to me.
Bo Martin Jr. Bo Martin Jr., of course, just jumps in to say you were wrong. Hey, just real. I'm sorry, EK. I'll let you finish. Bo Martin Jr., if you're anywhere near a headset, you call in. I will let you on tonight just to say his name. EK, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Kramer, I got to give it to Kramer just because the way that it all ended for Denver, the way that he was able to just walk away into the sunset, nailing the walk-off field goal. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, storybook ending for sure. Nate, a lot of choices up there. What is it, 12, 13, 16 choices. Who you got?
You know who I got to go with on this one. I got to support my wife here.
Dude, she's asleep. She's asleep. She's not right here. You don't just tell us the truth.
It doesn't matter. She's still going to listen to it in the morning. And if I don't choose her, she will have my ass in the morning.
Hey, it's your birthday today, bro. You can do what you want to do.
Yeah, I wish. But no, for her to win, I think she's the only Diva of the Week to win 2 Divas of the Week in her career.
That is correct. She's the only 2-time winner. She won one last season, I think, in the playoffs as well, if I'm not mistaken, or week 12 or something like that. Yeah.
It was wild card weekend last year and quarterfinals this year, and she's just been nominated multiple times, even beyond those 2 wins. So it's gotta be Kendra this year for Diva of the Year.
Okay, Robert Garrett Jr.
Yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth between 2. I think right at the moment, the runner-up for me would be Kramer. Obviously, no better way to end your career than a walk-off championship win. But the one that really stands out to me is Evan Lacey. I love the story behind it. I love, that side of things and how that can be a big thing with this league, being able to continue on these memories and such. But to get to watch him pick the ball off in the end zone during the game, during this big moment, it was just big.
Ray said, should I vote for myself? Hell, I do. You might as well. Let's see. Where are we going? Chad, you got the last word on the last category, Diva of the Season. This is another Sweet 16. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, Kramer riding off into sunset like that. I mean, that was a special moment all on its own. Lexington. I mean, I could go biased here and go Lexington. But you know what? I am going to go biased, but I'm not going to go Lexington. Sorry to my miners. But when you go into Arizona and only throw 2 incomplete passes, 4 TDs, and beat down the Scorpions, I got to go with, and then retire this season as well. I got to go with my boy Angus. I'm sorry. I got to go with my boy Angus. I mean, that was a lot of people. The funny thing about this is when I took this London job, I'll be honest. When I took this London job, a lot of people said, you're not going to win with Angus. I mean, look what we did in week 3 and then the rest of the season as well. So I got to give kudos to Angus. That's who I'm going to go with on this one, is to show him some love. So Angus McLean.
Bo Martin Jr. says in the chat, I'm still on the road, but we all know the emphasis is on the crack. Eddie Gage says, F you, Chad. I thought we were cool.
Hey, you know what, though? At the end of the day, Eddie, I was going to type this out. You made the playoffs. I didn't. I think you won that round.
There you go. Boom. Scoreboard, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, there are your 10 categories. Headwear of the season, quote of the season, best intoxicated, fuck, I sound like I'm intoxicated. Best intoxicated panelist of the season, partner of the season, show moment of the season, show of the season, mystery panelist of the season, panelist of the season, party peep of the season, and diva of the season. Eagle is about to probably put the link in the, what's Ray saying? What is that in that coffee cup? Oh, I'll never tell. I will never tell what's in this cup ever. Probably because it's different every time. Or is it?
Boone's Farm.
Yeah, well, Strawberry Hill, $2.99, bro. Come on, let's go. You know what's up. I drink it from the bottle like you, but
Mad Dog 2020.
Mad Dog, baby. Eagle will do it. He said he's going to do it here in just a couple minutes. He will post it in the Access Live server as well. He's going to put a link here in the chat before we wrap up. So that's it. Your inaugural Axies Awards nominee show, and 10 different categories. Lots of people can be winners. I'll be interested to see if any of the people who are nominated for more than one category win multiple awards. That'll be interesting as well. Want to give you guys a quick update on a couple things. Don't forget, Ashley dropped her most recent show last night at 6 p.m. if you haven't caught that. I believe Coach is going to be dropping something later tonight or tomorrow if it hasn't already been dropped, maybe during the show. So make sure you listen to Coach and his sidekick, Slyn Shady now. Nelson will be back on Friday night at 9:50. That's 9:50 p.m. Eastern Time. He likes to get a little head start, 10 minutes to the hour. And then my upcoming schedule, as you can see, this is Thursday, June 3rd, episode 98, Axies Nominees. I will be taking next week off for my birthday. Then I will be back on the 15th. On the 15th, we'll recap the awards, whatever else is going on in the SFL. I'm sure there might be, but maybe by then we'll have some re-signings, maybe even some free agent signings. And then on that Thursday, we have a very special show. We've got some very special things lined up to include the Axies Awards themselves, the winners. And I've got lots of people coming on to announce winners for the different categories. Was I going to say something else here? 99. Nope, I think that's it. Then after episode 100, we'll see what happens. Depending on how the calendar goes. I was going to take a couple weeks off in July since we had nothing going on, but if things get pushed back, I may or may not take some of the time off. We'll see what happens. Eagle Mondavi, being the man that he is, just posted in the show chat. I don't know if he's done it in the Access Live server yet, but in the show chat, he just posted the form to go vote for your Axies Awards. Make sure you put your name on it. Everybody puts their name on it. Will be put in a drawing for some swag. For every 50 people, I'll do a drawing, and we'll see how many we can get. All right, let's last thing here. After Dark. I don't know if anybody wanted to chime in on the things that we talked about earlier in the show that I said you could discuss at the end of the show and After Dark if you wanted to. One was the owners' meetings, the rules that were passed in those meetings or not passed. We talked about the kicker needing an additional, 10 points, I believe. The special teams coach, some things with running backs and such. None of the retirement. We had a big conversation on Tuesday about the player retirement situation, and it looks like not a single motion of retirement received more than 4 votes anyway. So there was that. And then the other thing that came out today earlier was the top 5 SFL honors snubs. We talked about a few of them earlier. I know we discussed Bob Funk. We talked about Josh Miller. We talked about Robert Redford. You know what? I'm going to go through the panel one more time. There are two people. While I wait to see if anybody has questions on this, let me go through the panel one more time. The two people we did not speak of that were in the article, and I'll just go through one time, and if nobody has questions, we'll wrap the show up after this. Max Jackson from Vegas, obviously, and John Banfield, the wide receiver from DC, who, by the way, wore number 4 in our game against DC in honor of Evan Lacey in that game, which was the week that we did the tribute for him. For Offensive Rookie of the Year, they compare his stats to Deuce. Yeah, to Deuce Fenix stats, who is also a receiver and did get nominated for Offensive Rookie of the Year. The big difference they're saying in this one for him was the touchdowns. I know it says, oh, yeah, I thought it was Jeff as well, Todd, but the article says John, so I was just reading it from the paper. So, Chad, let me start with you. Max Jackson or Jeff Banfield, which one do you think got stubbed more, if either, and why?
That's a good question. I mean, I being in the North Division, watching DC grow and play better as the season got on, Jeff was a pretty big reason for that.
Huge in that game against us. They got their first victory that night.
Correct.
Yeah.
So to me, I think if you're going to compare the two and see who's the biggest snub, I mean, Jackson, don't get me wrong, he's a great player, has been a great player. But to me, I think if you're going to go with the biggest snub between the two, it'd probably be Banfield.
Okay.
I am in mind.
Robert, what do you think?
Yeah, I think between the two of those, I would say Jeff Banfield as well. I got the chance to, in the beginning of the season, I called quite a few of their games pretty much back-to-back weeks. So I really got to watch the team develop and see how they learn new ways to get him involved in the game. And, he was a star for them every step of the way.
Nate, let me change the question up for you. Both Chad and Robert seem pretty insistent that Banfield is the bigger snub. Do you think Max was snubbed or not?
I think the case could be made that he was. I mean, just reading through the article, he did have some really good stats as far as his season went. So I think like I said, a case could be made that he was considered a snub for sure.
E.T., I'm going to actually ask you a different question. You've probably seen both of these players up close throughout the season, announcing, commentating for the SFL. I'd like you to speak on both of them if you can, if you've seen both of them. Do you think they both got snubbed? Do you think neither of them got snubbed? Or do you think only one of them got snubbed?
I actually didn't get a chance. I don't think I called either one of these teams this season. DC, I know I didn't, and I don't think I did a Vegas game either. But I would more sway towards Banfield being snubbed just because of where he was sitting, like what team he was on, and just looking at the overall record of said team, expansion franchise, DC Drag, it's one of those things that you're not focusing in on that player as opposed to Max Jackson. Max Jackson had a great season, but it just wasn't good enough this season. You had so many safeties that just put up incredible numbers that it wasn't in the cards.
Okay. I'm going to put everybody on the spot one more time. I know I said I was going to go through this. We're going to wrap it up. Well, I lied. Nobody in the show chat. I'm used to doing that. We wing it on the show. That's why it's unscripted. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to give you guys each a minute to think about it while I look through the chat. I want you guys to let me know somebody that you feel got snubbed. That was not in this article. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to think about that while I look through the chat to see. Let me see. People talking about drinking. Oh, people guessing what's in my mug. Colt 45, Wild Irish Whiskey, Johnny Walker. Damn, you guys. We got some hard drinkers in this league. Holy smokes. Eagle put the link in there. That was great. Chad told Eagle F you for some reason. I don't know why. All right. Good to see here.
Wouldn't you tell him to F you?
You said F you at Eagle.
Yeah. Wouldn't you tell him that too? It's Eagle.
I would. Okay. I mean, just in general, yes.
Just in general, yeah. Yeah.
I just thought maybe he said or did something. I don't know.
He needs his wings clipped.
And he gives you a heart back. There you go. Attaboy. Jimmy Hazard on AJ's show. Good for you, buddy. Got corrected on Jeff Banfield. Ray thinks I have wine in here. No, I don't tonight, but I am going to be crushing a bottle of wine right after this show. No pun intended, or maybe I did intend it. I don't know. All right. I've given my panelists enough time to kind of do a minute and a half worth of research as I put them on the spot. I'm going to go in the same order I went last time. Put Chad on the spot first because I know how much he loves it. Chad, did you come up with anybody you think got snubbed for SFL honors, or was there not enough research time?
Not enough research time.
Nobody comes to mind. Nobody from London. No big names, maybe. Like I said, we already talked about Robert Redford.
I'm trying to remember who got honored in the first place.
That's the problem, right? That's probably why it was a bad question. Is trying to remember who was on the voting to begin with.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who's on the voting. I don't know if there's a link to that somewhere.
It's probably not valid anymore because the voting's closed. So
yeah,
we'll all find out tomorrow anyway. No big deal. Robert, did you come up with anybody?
Oh yeah, I had mine as soon as you asked the question. Go figure, the Cowboys being a homer.
Shocker.
Adam Leach, as a nickel corner, was the only rookie to record some kind of statistical number in every category. And, Eddie's going to be mad at me in the chat, but Adam Leach had 2 pick sixes this season. Ask Eddie how many he has in his career. I love you, Eddie.
Ouch. Ouch. That hurts. Well, ouch. 7. Mike All says Marco Swift was the biggest snub. That's actually good. I think because they gave it because between him and the long arm of the law, they gave it to the long arm of the law. Ray's asking about Peanut Say. Gunny says Toros have a great defensive secondary. Nate, anybody off the top of your head you think got snubbed for SFL honors?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my the guy that has the same birthday as me.
Yep.
And former Lynx player as I was, Bullet Bolesky. The season that he had for Florida, the way he ran the ball for them, I think he was the biggest snub of the snubs.
Yeah, I was surprised I was going to be shocked if nobody said Bullet. He just chimed in, by the way. He says, for what it's worth, I believe I had 11 touchdowns more than any rookie, non-quarterback, top 10 in receptions, and was snubbed on the snubs. LOL, all good, just saying. Well, you know what? Hey, Bullet, happy birthday. You didn't get nominated for anything. EK, this is it. Last question of the night. We're wrapping up the show. Did you come up with anybody? Can't let us down, bro. I put all that pressure on you. Last question of the show, man. Hey, you're muted, bro. Boom.
Muted, bro. Sorry.
Boom. Oh, I thought we were going to go a whole show without that, but we didn't. Thank you, EK. I appreciate that because that lets me do this, which I love doing, by the way. All right. What were you trying to say?
I was saying I felt the pressure. And yeah, that long minute and a half, that was plenty of time to go ahead and go through all this. But Bullet Boletsky jumps out in my mind. I could be a homer and say Adam Leach as well. The fact that he was on this All Division article that just came out today.
Yeah.
He was thrown into there. Nowhere to be found on the honors list. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to look at.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. That's another great article, by the way. I mean, if we had a tournament, we all know the South would win. But the important question is, who would the South beat in the championship? That's the question I think everybody's wondering after reading that article. Do you agree, Robert Garrett Jr.?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you agree, E.K. Vincent?
150%.
Yeah, I won't ask the other two panelists. We'll just wrap the show up right here. All right. How about that Tex-Mex division, baby? Gotta love it. Is that the new Toros thing, Chad? What are you doing over there, bro? All right, everybody. Remember that?
That's only one horn. That's more of a hyena
He just
thing.
gave you 2 now. Oh my gosh! Thank God that was after dark. I don't know what to say. Bob Funk, you are highly medicated from your injury, I think, saying that the Pacific wins. Marco Swift, those South votes hurt. What else we got? Anybody else? Who? Honestly, before we wrap, I'm going to sign off here, but I want to know, what do you guys think in the chat? Let's be honest. The South was the best division. We were 1 game away from putting all of our teams in the playoffs. I think what was there? There was another division that put in 3, right? Was it the Atlantic with Jacksonville, Florida? No, it wasn't the.
No, it was the West,
Oh,
wasn't it?
it was
'Cause it was
Eddie saying the West. So it was
Arizona.
Arizona, Vegas, and Denver, right? Okay. All right. So there you go. Thank you, Eddie. So the South beats the West in the championship game. I'm glad we got that settled before we went off the air. And for all the rest of the 3 through 6 seeds, have a nice day. So, negative. Everybody, now everybody wants to talk. Great show and happy birthday. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate the happy birthday wishes. Also, as I'm wrapping this up, happy birthday to Tony Roberto, Bryant Dynasty, Cam Irvine, Nate Hall, Bullet Beletsky, and Optimus Prime. A lot of birthdays in here at the beginning of June. All us Geminis taking over the world, just like the South Division. Hey-o. I will not see you in 48 hours. Chad's just shaking his head the whole time. I won't see you until, I don't know, what day did I tell you? The 15th, is it? I think it's the 15th. I should probably pull that up again. I don't even know. Look at me. I don't even know when I'm coming back. Is it the 15th? Okay. Yep, there it is. I will see you guys here on Tuesday, the 15th, for episode 99. And then we'll do episode 100 and the Axies Award winners. Which reminds me to tell you, voting will be open until that Tuesday. We'll shut it down sometime on Tuesday, the day of the 99th show. That'll give us a couple days to kind of put everything together for the 100th show. All that being said, thank you to all the party people in the chat for showing up. As always, thank you to my main man, Gunny, Chad Rowland, Robert Garrett Jr., Nate Hall, and our mystery guest, number 14, Eric Vinson. Eric, thanks for being here. I didn't really mention, but you've been in the league a long time. Oh, I never explained the hint. One of the hints was he was the 3rd person to ever do this in the SFL, and that was to be a broadcaster. It was Cam and Andy Hamilton, and then Eric Vinson was number 3. How do you like that for Access Live Educational Hour, or Educational Minute, I guess? Although we educate on alcohol and bad words and smoking cigars, so I guess it's kind of an educational program. Marco Swift, you know what you can do with that comment. You can put it right back where it came from. Happy 65th birthday. Get the hell out of here. Let me see. Anybody else ripping on me for my birthday before I sign off on purpose and I don't have to read it anymore? Enjoy your birthday and time off. Thank you. I will. Eddie isn't going anywhere. He wasn't going anywhere anyway. Come on. Thank you, Eddie. Great show. Wide-ranging educational values here on Axis Live. You got it. Go Phoenix. Beat LeBron. Drunk history at the Axis. All right. That sounds like a good 99th show, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, everybody. Thanks again for being here. See you in a couple weeks. I'm going to have a good time. Enjoy myself. A little vacation. You'll see me at the tees, or somebody will see me at the tees, but a whole different kind of tees, as I probably plan on doing some golfing here over the next couple weeks. That's not funny, Robert Garrett Jr., at all. Being old. I keep trying to sign off and people keep talking trash. Yep, Beaumart 100, and I hope you're talking about the shows and not my age. Hey-o. All right, now I really got to get out of here. Lisa's going to be mad at me. We're way over time. All right, thanks again, everybody, for being here. See you in a couple weeks. I'll see you on June 15th for the 99th show when I see you at the tees.